All right, guys, let's talk about how to create ad copy and creatives that convert like crazy. And when I say creatives, guys, I'm going to call it that for the rest of the module. Creatives is just, the image, right? The actual picture that's the ad, or the video that's the ad. That's what people call it. And the words that are the ad are what people call ad copy, right? So ad copy and creatives that convert like crazy, right? We're going to become a copywriting expert quicker than you thought would ever be possible. And so a Facebook epiphany, guys. People are not actually buying your product, right? They are buying the solution your product solves. And your ad's only purpose is to agitate that problem, right? Make them realize what a problem that is, and then present your product as the best / only solution and to build a relationship. That's the only purpose of your ad, right? So you're not actually, it's talking about how cool your product is. People are not buying your product. They're buying the solution. They're buying the feeling that your product gives them that's better than what they have now, right? And the most powerful buying influence, guys, is that of providing free value and expecting nothing in return. Like we've talked about over and over and over again in this course, reciprocity, right? So creating ads, guys, might seem like kind of the easiest part of this whole process, but it's actually very, can be daunting, kind of starting from scratch. So it's a lot easier than you think, though. And one of the main purposes, or one of the main kind of goals of this module is going to be to show you how to get inspiration from the right sources, because I can't possibly show you an example of every ad for every industry, for example, but I can show you how to find inspiration in the right places, and then kind of use that inspiration to be inspired and create your own ads, right? It's kind of like the age-old adage: you can teach a man to fish, or you can give a man a fish and he can eat for life, right? Because we're going to teach you how to fish. We're not going to just try to hand everything to you here. We're going to show you all of the different places that you can find the best quality ads from the top tier experts of advertising in the world. And then actually, figuring out how to use, what other people are doing in your niche who are successful to kind of emulate in your own advertisements. So below, guys, right here in this link is what we call the Ninja Ad Vault. And the Ninja Ad Vault is something that I've actually kind of just been collecting, and I will continue to collect over the years. And what this is examples of ads that I think are really well done. So everything in here, is either in here because of the headline or the copy or the creative or, the long form text, right? So there's 3 different things here. What we see are ad links. So these are actually links that I've put together. Like this link right here is the link to a graphic design firm that we used back in the day, and they have a ton of different Facebook ads that are all really expertly designed here, right? Reduce your cart abandonment rate up to 27% and recover lost revenue automatically, and reduce our cost per sign up by 44% with Facebook ads, right? So these are all very well done. What do you kind of notice here? A lot of smiling people, centrally located, right? Very, very well done. And this is just a trove of inspiration for you to be able to design ads yourself, using similar industry imagery, using similar kind of designs here, like free, and the yellow looks really good. And just look through these and see which ones pop out at you, right? Like this, I like this one right here. This one pops out at me. This one looks good to me. I like this one. A lot of these, right? And I've used these to actually create a bunch more ads, because the point of this module is not going to be to show you, exact examples that you can just copy. It's going to be to show you, where you can actually find other advertisements to base your own stuff on. So that's actual links to ads and links to kind of portfolios of Facebook ads that you can take examples of. The Facebook ad text examples, right? So this is actual text that I've copied from Facebook ads themselves that I think are really well done. And so they're kind of spaced out between each other. You can see which ones are which, right? Nothing to see here with like a big kind of what is this, like a police light emoji? Nothing to see here unless you're still interested in making more money this year, right? So like, who's not interested in making more money? And he's saying, forget selling junk online, right? Like, like eBay and all the other e-commerce. Forget driving strangers around, right? Uber and Lyft. Forget letting strangers rent your bed, Airbnb. So he's kind of, agitating the negative parts of a lot of other kind of popular ways to make discretionary income. And then he's saying that, this side hustle has made more self-made millionaires than any other industry. And he's talking about real estate, right? And so just read through some of these, because, they're all here for a reason. I asked myself, if you had a time machine and can go back to 2006, Russell, knowing what you know now, what would you say? What formula for generating fast online income would you give me? What happened next? This video happened. Turn the sound on, turn off your distractions, and just take 15 minutes of your day and watch this. This is how success is made, right? This is super short and sweet. Fact, more people become financially independent from real estate than any other field. All right, want to hear something uncomfortable? Kind of a question like people are just interested in what, they're curious about what this could be. Nobody wants to be uncomfortable. And so they're kind of just like, it kind of shocks them out of their, their scroll. And that's kind of a huge point and something that's really important to understand. Kind of pattern interrupt. Just even the slightest, tiniest interrupt of somebody's pattern of autopilot scrolling through Facebook, if you can get their attention for a microsecond, then you've already won kind of the first part of your ad, right? Because the whole point of the very first part of your ad, reflections on reality, right? In all caps, 3 strange concepts that made me 20 million by 27. Right? These are all just fantastic examples. Kind of the story, how it leads with the hook, how it opens. A lot of the different elements that are just really kind of interesting and shocking and just keep your attention, right? Wake up inspired, watch videos from Gary Vee, the money ain't rolling in, right? A numbered list that people want to see the end of. There's just a ton of really good examples here, guys. And the good part is these are actually live documents. And so I'm going to continue to add more and more and more as we, as I start to see advertisements that I like because I use them myself. And so here's some actual ads that I've liked personally. These are the 3 that I gave to you guys for you to use. This is just a simple one for drop shipping, right? Just a picture of his phone with a Audi R8 in the background and like some beautiful sunset. Here's the one that I talked about with Russell. It just looks kind of interesting. The red lines kind of show you. It has a ton of social proof here, obviously. This is a good one for users' attention, like a bear in the. It's a good one here. Here's a good usage of the actual bars. The yellow bars or black bars, right? It has money in the bottom. How to get more digital marketing clients by offering this service first, right? It makes you curious what this service is. They want to know what that representation of the stair step is on the graph. Don't use old list building strategies, right? With emojis here, and then he has his annotations down in the bottom, which are super important. In the past 36 months, we have generated 200 million in sales with this training. How? With a relentless laser-like focus on 2 key things. And people are curious, right? And they line this up perfectly to have the preview section here be after the kind of curiosity hook. And they just have as featured in all of these, super amounts of credibility if they were actually featured in all of these different kind of publications, right? So 200 million in sales have been generated with this strategy. Ignore at your own demise. Is this possibly the single greatest secret in all of business? Like people are so curious to see what that is. And so, you look at these ads, I'm going to constantly be adding to them more and more and more as I find good ones, which is awesome for you guys. So check back and make sure that you bookmark this link because I'm going to be adding a bunch of really awesome stuff. And so that is the Ninja Ad Vault. There's a ton of stuff here, attention grabbers of, attractive looking females, how we scaled to 9 million per year with 1 webinar. We don't really blog. We don't do launches. Check out the brand new blueprint that reveals how 1 webinar built our $9 million a year business, right? And so there's just a lot of really good stuff here. Take a look at it. I think you guys will like it. So every great ad really shares commonalities, guys, right? It has a short and sweet headline with action and subject. And I give you an example here in parentheses because I think it's really important to actually show examples. Like I can talk high level and say, yeah, it needs a hook, it needs social proof, but unless I actually show it and unless you feel it and see examples, it's much more kind of intangible and it's harder to kind of conceptualize and write this stuff for yourself because it's much easier to kind of have something and then manipulate it and change it than it is to start something completely from scratch. And so the whole purpose of this module is going to be to show you example after example after example of very, very skilled and talented advertisers, and then show you the sources where you can see even more and more examples for yourself, and then additional sources where you can see specific examples to your actual niche. So you can see how the best advertisers are really doing it, and then model and get inspiration to actually create your own unique stuff. So short and sweet headline with action and subject, the new age of email, right? So this kind of portrays like a new opportunity, something that's unique, something everybody wants what's new and on the cutting edge. It's why everybody, waits in line to get the newest iPhone and things like that. Forever change the way you communicate with your customers with just one click. So forever change, right? People want to, improve things, the way you communicate with customers with just one click. And just one click, right? It's that easy. People want to know what it is. How can I forever change the way I communicate with my customers with just one click? Evidence of social proof, right? More self-made millionaires are made from this, from this side hustle than anything else. Right? Could 100,000 paying students be wrong? These types of like humble brags, if they're used correctly, have a lot of kind of weight when you're creating your advertisements. So, you saw like the ones $200 million in sales as featured in, Inc. Entrepreneur, like literally 30 different 30 different articles written about that. So it's like, if they're all writing about it, then maybe, you should pay attention also because the social proof. Strong value proposition, not about the product or service, right? But how they actually feel after your product or service. Because if you're making an advertisement, for example, that says about socks, 100% cotton machine washable versus you'll feel like you're walking on clouds. Like which one to you makes more of an impact? 100% cotton and machine washable, like you don't care about that. Yes, it is a product feature, but you want to communicate how people will actually feel after using your product, how much better their life will become after using your product or service, right? Eye-catching communicative imagery through your ad creative is a must. It's an obvious one, right? We're going to look at example after example after example of this until you guys kind of realize what works, what's eye-catching, and you'll start to actually be, instead of kind of an observer and a viewer of advertisements on your own Facebook feed, you'll start to become more of an actual researcher, right? Of being an advertiser yourself, and then you'll actually critique and say, okay, what's catching my eye? Why is it catching my eye? How can I emulate it into my own stuff? Right? And then action-oriented, time-restrictive call to action. Click the button below before our sale ends forever this Friday or tomorrow or whatever it is, right? You want to give people an incentive to actually click your ad because people are funny, right? Even if they're interested in your ad, they put it off. People like to procrastinate. It's why everybody waits until the day before an exam to study, right? But if you give the illusion that timeline is shortened, then people are more likely to take action sooner, which is what you want from an advertisement, right? And then emojis, don't be afraid to use them. You saw like the police light in one of the ad texts that I showed, right? And if you guys ever need, just open this up and have, the Ninja Ad Vault right next to us. Because when we're talking about emojis, for example, we can just open up the Facebook ad text and we can see a bunch of examples of how to use the X's, the fires, the laugh, the little explosion, the arrows, right? All different types of emojis here. And these are from some of the best advertisers in the world, right? They're just using, literally an emoji on every line here. It's just really kind of eye-catching. The numbers, people want to see what's at the end, right? Or you can get the free book instead. Lots of different examples there. And so that's kind of the commonalities that, every ad kind of needs. Short and sweet headline, evidence of social proof so other people care, strong value proposition where people feel it, right? They feel it. They don't care about the product or service features. Eye-catching, you gotta pattern interrupt them. You gotta get them to break their habit of scrolling and actually pay attention. And then action-oriented, time-restrictive call to action, right? I've had great success with nothing to see here or wait, right? Just like people, it just kind of shocks them out of their autopilot. And then even that tiny fraction of breaking their pattern is all that your very first line that your hook is trying to accomplish, right? And let's remember, guys, we only have 25 characters for the headline, right? So the headline right here, blah, blah. We see we only have 25 characters right here for the headline. We have 90 characters for the text. And then we have 200 characters for the description. So we can go blah, blah, blah here. And we see that the description has 200 characters, 25 characters for the headline, and 90 characters for the text. And so the types of ad copy, guys. The types of ad copy really are short copy, which is 2 to 3 sentences with clear product description, benefits, and features. And we can see that in here when we look at Russell's example. It's like a short one right here, right? Short copy, 2 to 3 sentences. And these work, right? You're going to have to split test long form copy, short copy, new valuable features. If you really have a unique product that didn't exist before your, product or service, then talk about it. This is going to have to be like a Ninja battery that has 5 million active hours of lifespan, right? Socks are not new valuable features. Long form copy. You see that kind of most commonly with higher ticket products, things that like trainings that cost $1,000 and things like that. Because you really have to, tell a story. You have to get people involved. You have to make them understand, who you are, how you can change their life and things like that. Right? You have a lot more opportunity to actually tell the story about the brand, and you can really talk about the benefits of you and what you offer and how you can, more importantly, how you can help them. And never ever use paragraphs, guys. Look at the format of all of these. There's no long form paragraphs. The longest thing you see of one sentence before spaces is one sentence because people don't read paragraphs. They literally gloss them over, and that's why the more you can really like split this up, the better. One of my favorite examples of this is this one, right? Literally a numbered text, one after another, and it's just a really fantastically written advertisement. And then again, claims back with proof, right? The best cookie dough ice cream in the Midwest, approved by 100,000 happy customers, like we talked about up here, which is evidence of social proof. So guys, and regardless of what anyone tells you, right, the quality of your product or service you're selling is by far the most important part of your ad creation. You can create the best ad in the world with the best ad copy, and if your product sucks, or the images or videos of your product sucks, then you're not going to be able to sell it, right? So if nobody wants your product, or if it's poor quality, no amount of advertising is going to change that. But we're going to teach you how to absolutely advertise the heck out of quality products or services. So that, guys, is an introduction to ad copy and creative that converts like crazy. We talked about how people are not buying your product, they're buying the solution your product solves, right? The feeling, how their life is going to be better after interacting with your product. We introduced the Ninja Ad Vault, which is going to be constantly updated with brand new advertisements of top advertisers in the world, plus ad copy and ad links, plus links to repositories of awesomely designed Facebook ads. And then we talked about all the great commonalities that great ads share, right? Short and sweet headlines, evidence of social proof, strong value proposition, eye-catching, action-oriented with a time-restrictive call to action. We talked about the space that you have to actually get your message across. And then we talked about the types of ad copy that's most commonly used. Short copy, new valuable features, long form copy, which is more common for higher ticket products, and then claims back with social proof, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. Let's get into a ton more examples of world-class advertisements, and more importantly, how to translate them into your business.